Let's talk about procrastination and how to actually beat. You can't really beat procrastination. I don't know why people say that, but yeah, I'll give you about 4 tips that you can use to actually stop procrastinating and actually getting things done. So you see, when you're about to do a task, the mind knows how to create reasons for us to not start the task. It gives us important messages flashing in our heads. They are important. Sometimes they are urgent. But is that when you act on those tasks, that is where the procrastination begins to happen. So we can help to actually stop procrastinating if we understand what is happening in the mind and then know how to negotiate with it. So first things first, what's happening in the mind? We have a lot happening in the mind. The mind is calculating the benefits and the rewards. It feels like it may get bored in the task. So the first tip I give to you is, so mind you, in this video, I'm trying something different. The most important point is going to be the first, and the least important point is going to be the last. So let's see how you get it. Now, the first important point is the motivation, the motive behind why you need to do that task. To be very honest, if you look at most of the tasks that you did them because of a very tight deadline. At the same time, super important. So sometimes we procrastinate because we want that last minute rush, which brings into this concept of, I think, Parkinson's law that says that the time we'll carry out to do a task is the exact same amount of time that we actually allocate to that task. So for example, if you have a project and you give yourself 2 hours to finish that project, it would actually take 2 hours. But if you give yourself 30 minutes and force yourself in 30 minutes, it's actually going to take 30 minutes. But coming back to the point is motivation. For you to get the motivation for that task, you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, one, why is this task so important? If I do this task, what do I get to benefit? If I don't do this task, am I disappointing somebody? If I don't do these tasks, what is the worst that would happen? Now you see, when you answer these questions, and if you increase the amount of benefit you get, and all at the same time increase the amount of pain that you could get, then suddenly you get to think differently and probably negotiate those emotions properly. If you actually get to realize that that particular task, it could be going to the gym, it could be starting a new business, but knowing fully well what you can regret if you don't do it. At the same time, knowing what you could gain if you actually do it is one way to build motivation. So on this topic of motivation, I often hear people say things like that you don't need motivation to start. That's a big lie. You need a kind of motivation to start. To be very honest, in most cases, one thing that drives people the most is negative motivation. That motivation to prove somebody wrong. That motivation that is driven by vanity. As you begin to take action, a different kind of motivation kicks in, which is like a pull motivation, it's more like you are looking at the benefits more than the negative downsides of it. So whether I like it or not, motivation plays a very crucial role in taking action. At the same time, when you're taking action, a different kind of motivation that is much more long lasting kicks in. And then you move on. Second tip here is the environment. Now, some people try to carry out tasks like going to the gym, but they set up the environment against that process of going to the gym. If you want to go to the gym first thing in the morning, keep your shoes and your gym clothes ahead of time, because the mind will look for ways to distract you because it's the gym. So what happens is you wake up in the morning, probably do your morning routine. Now, time to get to the gym. You kind of realize your mind asking questions like, what should I wear? Oh, I don't like those colors. Those colors don't fit well. Let's try out something different. Now, this little ideas popping up in your head is slightly discouraging you from going to that gym. Or another example is, Another example I can give is maybe starting a new habit is perfect. Your mind does not want that new thing to come in. That is why you should always understand that your mind has tricks. Now, your mind will begin to bring up important activities right before you do that thing. So you need to set up your environment to actually fit for you to actually make that thing easy. If you want to lose weight, don't have an unhealthy food lying around. If you want to start running, have your running shoes close to you. Have everything arranged in a manner that it is easier to get discipline. It is easier to take action. Now, when you're taking action, a third tip you should know is that once in a while you need to reward yourself until all of those habits become easy. So in the case of me, to start creating content, to create content that is valuable every day, some things I delay intentionally so that when I do those tasks, I get to have some of my enjoyable moments. For example, after creating content, then I can have a cup of coffee. After creating content, then I can go on a walk because I love taking walks. It's a talk another day. I'll speak on it another day. But see how whenever you have a nice incentive for yourself, you get to realize that over time, although you may not need this process later on, but giving yourself that reward over time will also help you because it's called habit stacking. I think by James Clear in his Atomic Habits, where you kind of like bring habits together, and then when you bring these habits together, you are constantly looking for ways. You're looking for your next content to create. You're looking for the next time to go to the gym because you know that after that gym, after that workout session, after the content session, the next thing is something that is pleasurable. Now, this might be a tricky part because when I say reward yourself, what I literally have seen people do is my gym is close to an eatery. I think it's KFC, yes, perfect. So they literally leave the gym and move into KFC as their reward. That's as good as typing your project and pressing Ctrl Z till everything is gone. It's instead of engaging in such what do you call this high calorie foods after you just burnt calories. Why don't you do something that's much more enjoyable and productive, like maybe scrolling social media for 30 minutes, which sometimes I do after doing a bulk of my high level tasks. I go and do something like social media once 30 minutes max, or go on a walk, or just take coffee. Have a nice incentive, have a healthy incentive. And this is why I'm a very big believer in getting rid of your bad habits and replacing them rather with positive ones. Then the fourth tip is having accountability partners, and it's a very crucial thing because most people miss the point about accountability partners. So what happens is you want to start something, you want to build a new habit, you want to achieve a certain goal. Then when to some people, it's mostly what they call it, it's mostly an idea in their head. They have not really done heavy research to know if it is what they really, really want to do. So what happens is they go around telling people their goals. And the irony is that when you tell people your goals, you feel good because they hail you, they like you, they want the best for you. In your mind, you think that is motivation. But no, you are literally just fooling yourself around. However, the difference between that, telling people about your goals, and doing this is you are telling people so they can hold you accountable to the actions, to the process. So somebody who wants to say lose 10 kg and goes around telling people, I want to lose 10 kg, they will hail you, oh, it's a very nice goal. However, if you do not have somebody who is holding you accountable to the process, your brain will believe that you have actually achieved the 10 kg. So there's no need because you have already received the praise as if you already have lost the 10 kg. So the goal here is to get some people who would actually hold you accountable to the process. Okay? And this also helps back with the incentive where I have seen people who have beat procrastination because they told their accountability partner to withdraw a certain amount of their funds from their account if they miss a day, if they don't show up. You can see how helpful it is because they will help you to check out procrastination basically. So yeah, that's it really. So just to recap, the few tips to actually um, stopping procrastination is, first of all, you need to have a very strong motive. A very strong motive. You need the kind of motivation that gets you to start and the kind of motivation that comes with action. And in this tip, I forgot to mention that if you actually walk up to any task and give it just 5 minutes of your time, one thing you get to realize is it opens a loop in your mind. What happens is when that loop is open in your mind will want to make sure that it follows through with that task to the very, very end. That was why I brought up the idea of the law of time allocated to fill up a task. Your second is the environment. Set up your environment so that that thing you're procrastinating on, that thing that your mind is distracting you from, becomes easy to do. So your mind gets used to that idea of, okay, I really have an excuse. Let's do it. A third tip is the incentive. Whenever you do something that your brain would naturally procrastinate about, have a reward at the back of it or after it. Please make sure this reward is healthy. It may not be healthy, but we get the point. It could be scrolling social media for 30 minutes. It could be having a cup of coffee. It could be going on a walk. It could be listening to a comedy show, which I heavily recommend. They are much more important. They are much more, I would say, interesting and thought-provoking than the random short-form content. So yeah, comedy videos are very interesting. And lastly is have accountability partners. And it will also help if you are also holding them accountable to their own process. Right? They hold you accountable to your own process. So that's it. Thank you very much. Kindly share my video with somebody who you know is going to find it of great value. Somebody who you know would enjoy this movement we are slowly building about creating men who are full stack. Men who kind of realize that society right now is on a decline and it is up to men to actually resolve or to fix society as a whole. So these are men that will take responsibility for themselves and for the actions of those around them. Can you share my video with them? Thank you very much. Talk to you soon and bye for now.